What is going on, y'all? Psych Perspectives, giofvcks, and I have to do this video because I keep seeing this. Now, let's put a disclaimer. I'm an intersex trans man, and I'm gay. The second disclaimer. We know that this isn't all men, cis, trans. This isn't all women, cis, trans. This isn't all feminine people, all masculine people, what have you. We know this. But let's get into the video. Gotta address the obvious double standards, hypocrisies, and delusions, especially with some men and masculine people. Some of us are full of shit, point blank, period. You feel me? So let's get into this. Oftentimes, especially, with this new manosphere and the red pill society and, men going their own way, which to a certain degree, I do agree with some of the talking points, but there's a lot of bullshit, sexism, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, people in the closet living double and quadruple lives, and a lot of projecting and lying and just straight up bullshit that's also a part of these movements. And one of the things that I keep hearing is, well, women need to be in their femininity. If they would be in their femininity, a man would be able to do what he needs to do and blah, 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 blah. And then there's always this question of, how come, in particular, black women, brown women, women of color, how come, and then let's just be real, black women, there's always this conversation of how come they don't, they're not in their femininity, and then you hear women as well, cis, trans, feminine people as well, discussing, hypergamy, and getting into femininity and, arguing back and forth with some of the feminist ideologies as well. Like, again, I feel like we're living in the day and age where people are able to call out the hypocrisies, the double standards, the discrepancies, the inconsistencies, and just the blatant bullshit, regardless of what ideology or belief. Right? People are calling out the bullshit, and I applaud it because it needs to be called out. So I'm going to do this real quick in this video, or at least attempt to. Men, trans, cis, masculine folks, we got to call out our own bullshit. How in the hell do we expect women and feminine people to be in their femininity when we won't allow them to be in their femininity? Because most of the time, in my lived experience and what I've seen and witnessed dealing with other men and masculine people, we tend to be the ones in our femininity. We want to be in the femininity while still trying to hold on to traditional gender roles that benefit us. Right? So a lot of times, especially with the cis niggas that complain about cis women all the time, the cis men, the cis folk who complain about cis women and trans women and feminine people and everybody, y'all not feminine enough. Y'all won't let a man lead. But in the meantime, how is she going to be operating in her femininity if she has to pay the bills? She has to provide. She has to work. She has to defend. Again, that's not feminine energy. That's masculine energy. But she has to step up to the plate and as you say, put the pants on, because most of the time, masculines, men, your bitch cis ass ain't doing shit. You sitting up, you don't want to work. You don't want to provide. You talking about she got to pay half and half. She got to be, we going Dutch. Again, if you want her to be feminine, then you need to be masculine. Okay, according to your own bullshit rhetoric. That's why I said a lot of times men, trans, cis, masculine folks, we have to call out our own bullshit. You expect her to be docile, sweet, and cooking and cleaning and all of these, which you have deemed as feminine qualities, yet you're not doing anything masculine for her. Are you giving her, think about it. So many of you cis dudes get on here and bitch and moan about child support, even though you willingly had unprotected sex. Y'all be the main ones that don't want to wear condoms. You be the main ones that don't want to be on birth control, don't want to get the plan B. Yet you complaining about paying child support when you put yourself in that situation. Get a vasectomy, them real quick, and they are easily reversible. Get a vasectomy if you don't want to be having these damn kids. Get on birth control. Encourage her to be on birth control. Pay for her birth control. Pay for that plan B. Again, you on child support because of your dumbass decisions. But like I said, you want her to be in her femininity, but you don't want to take care of your kids. And then I'm gonna leave a video to another person, I believe the Poor Man's YouTube channel. I'm gonna leave it because he says it spot on. Again, you should want to take care of your kids, and even further than that, you should want to take care of your kids and the mother of your kids. But again, a lot of you cis dudes are full of shit. Okay? A lot of trans men, we got to be real. Some of us be trying to follow the same toxic masculinity, ain't about shit, gold master plan that cis men do. And you need to stop that because you don't get no kudos doing that. You a part of the problem. You just as toxic and narcissistic, emotionally unavailable, and abusive as the cis niggas that you complain about. Come on now. Okay? Again, you want her to be in her femininity. But in the meantime, you don't want to work. You don't want to provide. Okay. It's funny because if she turns around and says she wants you to be in your masculine, what you gonna do? Because a lot of you don't want to work. You're not trying to grind. You're not trying to provide. A lot of y'all don't want to protect or defend. Again, when you look at a lot of these protests and rallies, who's really out here? It's black women. It's black women, cis, trans, it's feminine people, it's the LGBTQ, it's everybody that you've deemed as being weak and less than that's actually out here in their masculine, fighting and standing up. Meanwhile, what is your bitch ass doing? What are you doing? What you doing? Again, you not protecting nobody. You not defending nobody. In fact, we got to worry about you shooting and killing up everybody in the damn community. We got to worry. Let's be honest. We be sitting up here marching, rallying, protesting, defending, protecting, providing for the so-called men. Okay, us men. That's what the women are doing. That's what the feminine people are doing. They're the protectors. They're the providers. They're the leaders. They're the nurturers. They're doing everything. They are literally jacks of all trades. They got to play every single role because the so-called masculine is never really playing their role, but they're always projecting. Oh, these women today, they think they this because they got a job. Yeah, because you hating because your bitch ass don't have a job. Again, notice the insecurities and all of this, red pill, men going their own way, all of this bullshit. It's nothing but projection after a while. Like I said, there's some key points that I totally agree with in the red pill, MGTOW, you feel me, manosphere. There are some key points where I'm like, yes. But there are a lot of just straight up bullshit and projection. After a while, it's basically a bunch of bitter ass men who have been toxic and manipulative and abusive towards the women in their lives, towards the feminine people in their lives. And then they come over here and try to play victim. And now all of this is coming out. All of this shady shit that y'all think that y'all been hiding and doing for centuries, everything is coming to the forefront. What's done in the dark comes to the light. And that's exactly what we are witnessing. People are being called out on their bullshit. And like Poor Man said, in the situation with Kevin Samuels, and don't get me wrong, there are some points that Kevin Samuels says that I do agree with, but there are a lot of just straight up, once again, double standards, hypocrisy, and straight up bullshit. You know, you can't get on here talking about being a high value man. Meanwhile, you didn't want to take care of your kids, Kevin. There ain't shit high value about being a deadbeat father. Ain't shit high value about that. But that's how it typically is with these narcissistic, lying ass people. They get on here, they project, they try to make it seem like their lives are so well and they're high value, which brings me to, like I said in my other video, and I'm gonna keep saying this, most of these think about it, you're self-proclaiming to be high value. Other people are not saying that you're high value. You're self-proclaiming it. Again, when you got to be doing all of this flaunting, bragging, fronting, more than likely it's a bunch of bullshit. They're lying. There's some red flags all through there. And lo and behold, Mr. High Value himself is a high value deadbeat. And again, this is typically how it is. You feel me? One thing about me, I ain't got nothing to hide. I'm in an apartment that I'm paying way too much for, that I split the bills with my roommate. I ain't got shit to hide. I'm single. I don't have no kids. I don't have no baby mamas. I don't have no baby daddies. I ain't in any of this shit. I got a dog right there that's asleep. I got another dog with my mom and grandma. And then we got another dog out there with my uncle. Okay? I got a bunch of student loan debt, $48,000 worth of student loan debt. Finally got a job in my field. But it's a grind. It's a hustle. I'm in debt. I'm trying to get out of debt. I'm not perfect. I don't have the most amazing body. Like I said, I'm intersex, trans, gay, black, here. I don't got nothing to hide because that's just it. When you're living in your truths, you don't have to do all of this projecting, insecurities, lying, and just sitting up here trying to look down on other people to try to cover up the bullshit that you're doing. And like I said, a lot of us men, including myself, we got to be real. Cis, trans, masculine people, we have to be honest. Fellas, men, we have to be honest. Folks, we got to be honest. You can't expect her to be in her femininity when you're not leading in your masculinity. And all of this, she ain't doing this, she ain't doing that. You need to be looking at what the hell your black ass is and not doing, especially when y'all talking about the black women. Because again, most of us got to keep it real. When we look back at who really took care of us, despite the negativity, because don't get me wrong, I talk about this all the time. A lot of you black women, a lot of you black feminine folks, a lot of you women feminine folks, you're just as abusive as the men and masculine folks. The difference most of the time is that women and feminine people tend to be more emotionally, mentally abusive, while men tend to be more physically and sexually abusive. Let's just be real. They tend to be more physically aggressive. So that's where, but either way it goes, abuse is abuse. But anyways, they were the ones that cooked, cleaned, provided, protected. Very so often did I see, men really doing anything that they were supposed to be doing. I'm just going to be honest. And then when they did, it wasn't a consistent basis where women consistently were doing this. So I'm just being real. But I just had to make this video real quick because it's a bunch of bullshit. It's the hypocrisies and the double standards, and shit has to be called out. If you want her to be in her feminine, then as men, we have to be in our masculine. And that's, if you're in a cishet relationship or a heterosexual relationship or what have you, if you are attracted to women and feminine people, don't ask others to do what you won't do for them. Okay? Point blank period. Stop projecting.